Green Lantern number 6, written by Jeff Johns, art by Michael Choi. We left off last issue with Sinestro dumping Hal back on Earth with a Green Lantern ring without a charge, and he went and made up with Carol, and they're giving it another shot. And the Guardians are doing something about waking up the First Lantern and leading the Third Army and replacing the Green Lantern Corps because they're all evil and stuff like that. This issue picks up with basically filler. You can call it character development. I'm calling it filler. It's the Coast City Aeronautical Museum, and they're going on a date, Carol and Hal, despite the fact they spend all their time around airplanes anyway. Carol heads off to the bathroom, and Hal looks down at his hand, sees there's no ring there. We see that he left it just on the countertop at home. And as he's walking around, he stumbles across some guys who were like stealing some aeronautics parts from some old timer who's fixing up a plane. And they're like threatening his life because he ratted them out and they wanted more, I guess. I don't know. It's not made super clear. But anyway, Hal steps in and he's just like, hey, I'm going to kick your guys' ass if you try to kick his ass. And he's like, yeah, it's 4 against 1. And he's like, good. And it's a short fight scene there. He takes them all out, gets his tie ripped off. And he's like, oh, sorry for the dents on your plane, old man. And he's like, nah, it's good. Better than dents in my head. And we see that he takes the tie off one of the guys that he just knocks out. Because, got to be formal date wear. So as soon as he gets back with Carol, he's like, oh, can we get out of here? I think I've had enough excitement for today. And she's like, how are you going to not be bored here on Earth, not being Green Lantern? Like, you've literally traveled across the universe. How could you ever be happy here? And he's like, Carol, I think I just might be. I'm not Green Lantern anymore. So he seems okay with that. Then we go to the planet Ogoro. There's a man pushing a cart who, as soon as he enters into his room, he is blinded by a green light of Sinestro. And apparently the guy's name is Starstorm. And it's speaking with a whole backstory. Apparently, at some point, Starstorm was a guy who was giving Sinestro a lot of grief when he was a Yellow Lantern. And then Sinestro, really kicked his ass to the point of humiliating the guy, and now he feels he has nothing to live for. But Sinestro needs him to use his abilities by putting on this special helmet in order to find Lyssa Drac, who is a Yellow Lantern that Sinestro needs to find for some reason. It's not even super clear why. He just wants to find her, and he knows that she's on this planet. And basically, he's trying to put the helmet on Starstorm. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. You said you'd kill me if I put it on. He's like, I'm going to kill you if you don't. Put on the helmet. And he keeps trying to, threaten Starstorm into being Starstorm, but, Sinestro broke this dude. He is mentally not here right now. But in the end, he goes ahead and he puts it on, even though he doesn't want to. And he leads Sinestro to where the energy signature of Lyssa Drac is. And as soon as they approach, Lyssa Drac pulls out some chains of yellow energy and drags them both in. And we see that she's this purple-skinned lady with a book, and she is the keeper of the Book of the Black, which I guess she feeds off of people's misery and woe and their stories thereof. So she starts sucking the story out of Starstorm, and he's like, you were defeated humiliatingly. Oh, that's good. I like that story. That's great. And Sinestro's pissed off that she apparently betrayed him to Krona for the sacred book. Again, no idea what. But he rips out a page and then he gets glimpses of the future. And I think I think the future. Some of it's definitely the future because he's dead in the last panel. But he sees the Guardians making their plans, and then he sees him in the Indigo tribe, and he sees Hal along with some dude dressed in black, and then he sees a White Lantern ring. And he's like, wow, okay, so the Guardians are planning some evil stuff. So Lyssa starts teasing Starstorm that, hey, I know how you're going to die, and it's not going to be from disease or accident. You're going to kill yourself in, a week. So have fun with that. And Sinestro tells him, hey, Starstorm, don't listen to her. Overcome your fear. Fight against her. You always gave me grief. I know you can do it. And Starstorm's like, oh, dear God, please don't hurt me. And he's like, son of a bitch, you suck, Starstorm. So he takes off the helmet, throws it at Lyssa Drac, and that apparently is enough to cause her to blast out through a wall. And Sinestro looks at Lyssa and is just like, I would kill you, but I might need you based off of what I just saw in that book. And Starstorm, I know your life kind of sucks, but I've seen people get through worse, and you are nowhere near as strong as they are, so never mind. Bye. And he's like, all right, God damn it, I need Hal Jordan. So he starts moving towards Earth again. We see Hal and Carol having some pillow talk. The ring suddenly lights up, flies around the room, goes onto his finger, and he can't get it back off despite him trying. Sinestro shows up at the window and he's like, hey, come on, we gotta go. And he's like, no, Sinestro, I'm not your sidekick. I'm not even Green Lantern anymore. He's like, bitch, you ain't. Come on. And that's where we leave off. It's the lead into the next arc. That's all it is. We had to have some reason that people would know what the Guardians are doing. That's it. They said what they said in the secret room, so there was no way to know what they were doing. We needed some way for the characters to get motivated on this story that they had no reason to be motivated on before. I'm not seeing, like, I hope that we continue on this idea that Hal genuinely doesn't want to be Green Lantern anymore. Like, he wants to try for that normal life. I think that that's a good character beat to move forward to after the last plot where he had to come to terms with, like, he lost the ring. I think that's a good place to move forward. I hope we don't just immediately undo that again, but we'll see what happens. Overall, for this issue, though, it is well written. The art is a step, not down, but, like, diagonally slanted in a downwards direction. It's very different than Doug Mahnke's art for the rest of the book, but it's not terrible. I especially like those Sinestro pages. The Hal pages and any other pages with a human on them are a little bit more iffy, but Aliens, he does well. So overall, I'm going to give this a 7. It's just the start of the new arc coming up next. I wouldn't even consider that part of that arc. This just feels like an intermediate issue, which is fine to have, but it's just, okay, let's get on with the rest of the story.